People think betrayal is loud, explosive, but mine happened in whispers. Quiet excuses. Small decisions that I thought didn't matter, until they did. And now every person who once trusted me would flinch if they knew what I kept hidden. I don't even know if I deserve forgiveness, or fear what happens when the truth finally gets out. I'll never forget the exact moment that text lit up my screen. I was sitting at my desk, half buried in emails, when my phone buzzed. I glanced down, expecting something sweet or maybe a meme from my girlfriend. Instead, I saw this. "I'm bringing my ex to your family's Thanksgiving. He has nowhere to go. Deal with it." I read it once. Then again. My brain needed a second to process that I hadn't misread it. She wasn't asking. She wasn't suggesting. She was telling me. I just stared at the message like it might magically rearrange itself into something less insane. It didn't. So after about a minute of stunned silence, I typed out the calmest reply I could manage. "I'll let them know." She sent back a string of heart emojis and a "knew you'd understand, babe," like she hadn't just thrown a grenade straight into my family's holiday dinner. For context, I'm 29. She's 27. We've been together for 2.5 years. She's spent 3 family holidays with us already. My parents adore her, actually refer to her as their future daughter-in-law. They've been begging me to bring her again this year. But Trevor is her ex. For years together. The guy she stayed friends with because it ended on good terms. The same Trevor who'd been popping up in her messages lately, always with some new emergency or depression spiral every time our relationship took a step forward. And now she was bringing him to my family's Thanksgiving table like that was no big deal. I felt this cold, slow burn start building in my chest. I wasn't about to play host to my girlfriend's ex like some chump in a bad sitcom. So I didn't. Instead of telling my family that Ashley was bringing Trevor, I texted my mom something else entirely. "Hey, Mom. Work emergency. Server migration over the holiday weekend. I won't make it to Thanksgiving. Ashley might still come, though." She was disappointed, but sweet as always. "Oh, honey, that's terrible. But Ashley's still welcome, of course. We already bought her favorite wine." And just like that, my plan was set. That night, I opened my laptop, went to a travel site, and finally did something I'd been dreaming about for months. I booked a 5-day trip to Cancun. Left Wednesday night, back Sunday. Used the money I'd been saving for the designer purse Ashley had been not so subtly hinting about for Christmas. If Trevor was going to sit at my family's table, I sure as hell wasn't. I turned off my read receipts and watched her texts roll in like clockwork. Tuesday. What should Trevor wear? Casual or dress up? Wednesday morning. Picking up the pies. Trevor's actually excited to meet your family, smiling face with hearts. Wednesday afternoon. Why aren't you answering? We're leaving in 2 hours. Wednesday evening. Your phone must be dead. See you there. I didn't reply. Not once. The silence must have started to feel real heavy on her end, but I was already sipping a drink at the airport. Then Thursday rolled around. 2 p.m. That's when my phone finally exploded with the kind of messages you know are bad news before you even open them. The storm had officially hit when I stepped off that plane Sunday night, sun-kissed and still tasting salt on my lips. I felt incredible. I'd spent 5 days in Cancun doing nothing but swimming, sleeping, and drinking margaritas. My biggest worry was whether to reapply sunscreen. So when I finally turned my phone back on and saw 73 unread messages, I almost laughed. I didn't even open them right away. I sat on the beach earlier that day, sipping my drink with a tiny umbrella in it, scrolling through her increasingly frantic texts like I was reading a dramatic novel. The meltdown had clearly started Thursday afternoon. The first messages were from Ashley. "Where are you? Your mom says you're not coming. She says you have to work. You didn't tell me. I'm here with Trevor alone. This is so embarrassing. Your dad asked Trevor if he's my boyfriend. Your sister is giving me death stares. Answer your phone." Then her tone shifted. "Your mom wants to know why you didn't tell me you weren't coming." I had to explain everything. "She's asking why Trevor's here. I told them you said it was fine. Your mom's calling you. Your dad looks pissed. Trevor wants to leave. This is your fault." Yeah, it was a mess. But the real story came later when my sister Megan filled me in. She's 25 and has a front row seat to family chaos, so she missed nothing. Ashley showed up at 1 p.m. sharp, Trevor trailing behind her like a lost puppy, both carrying pies and wearing matching holiday cheer smiles. Mom opened the door expecting just Ashley. "Oh, who's this?" she asked. Ashley, in her bright and overly sweet voice, said, "This is Trevor. My friend. Tom said it was okay." Apparently, Mom's face went through about 5 different expressions in 10 seconds. Confusion. Shock. Something close to concern. "Tom's not coming, dear. He has to work. Didn't he tell you?" And just like that, the color drained from Ashley's face. She stammered, trying to spin it into something casual, but it was obvious the story didn't add up. My family's polite, painfully polite, so they still let them in. But the vibe was ice cold from the start. Dad decided to make things interesting. He started grilling Trevor. Literally and figuratively. While flipping the turkey, he asked Trevor about his job. Unemployed. Living situation? Couch surfing. How long they dated. For years. Why they broke up. Trevor admitted he cheated. Ashley had conveniently left that detail out. And then? Aunt Carol. God bless Aunt Carol. After her second glass of wine, she loses the ability to filter anything. She leaned across the table and said, "So let me get this straight. You brought your ex-boyfriend to meet your current boyfriend's family, and your current boyfriend isn't here. That's interesting. Trevor apparently tried to break the tension by talking about football. The problem? No one in my family watches football. Not one person. So the silence must have been deafening. Megan told me Trevor helped himself to 3 full plates of food, packed leftovers, and kept calling my mom Mrs. T. My mom hates that. Every time he said it, she winced a little harder. Ashley spent most of dinner glued to her phone, probably waiting for me to swoop in like some kind of emotional life raft. Tom's probably just busy with the server thing, she'd say with this weak laugh. But Megan said her eyes were shiny, like she was trying not to cry. They lasted barely 2 hours. That night, as I stretched out in a hotel bed with ocean waves outside my window, my mom's text popped up. "We need to talk about Ashley. Call me when you get this." And I just smiled. The storm had passed without me ever being there to get wet. I got back Sunday night feeling refreshed, still carrying that warm, lazy sunshine from Cancun on my skin. I didn't text Ashley. I didn't call. I didn't explain a single thing. I just posted one photo on Instagram, nothing fancy. A glowing orange sunset, waves rolling in soft and slow, with a caption that read, "Sometimes you need to step back to see things clearly." She saw it within minutes. My phone started buzzing almost immediately. Call after call after call. I let every single one go to voicemail while I unpacked, humming to myself like nothing in the world was wrong. By the 5th call, I finally answered. "Where were you?" she screamed, her voice already shaking. I kept my tone calm, almost too calm. "Cancun. Good trip. How was Thanksgiving?" "Are you serious right now? You left me alone with Trevor at your family's house." "I told you I'd let them know," I said, tossing my suitcase on the bed. "That's not what you said. You said you'd tell them about Trevor." I laughed under my breath. "No, you said Trevor was coming. And you told me to deal with it. So I did. By not being there." There was this small, sharp pause on the line. "You humiliated me," she hissed. "You humiliated yourself," I shot back. "You brought your ex to my family's Thanksgiving without even asking me. I told you he had nowhere to go. And that's not my problem," I said flatly. "Or it wasn't, until you decided to make it mine." She snapped, "You're such a child, running away instead of dealing with things like an adult." "Adults don't ambush their partners with their ex-boyfriends," I countered. "Adults talk to each other. Adults respect boundaries." Silence. Then a smaller, softer voice, "Your mom thinks I'm trash now." I actually let out a dry laugh. "What did you expect? You showed up with your ex instead of me." Of course Trevor was mortified. "Good." She cursed under her breath, and before I could say another word, she hung up. The next morning, Monday, she showed up at my apartment. I was getting ready for work. She had a key, but I'd put the chain on, so the door only opened a few inches. "Let me in. We need to talk," she demanded. "We are talking," I said, adjusting my tie. "Tom, stop being ridiculous." "I'm being ridiculous? You literally told me your ex was coming to my family's Thanksgiving and to deal with it." "I dealt with it. You just didn't like how." "I was just trying to be a good friend to Trevor," she said, voice breaking. "What about being a good girlfriend to me?" I asked. "Because from where I'm standing, you abandoned me and replaced me with your ex at my own family's dinner table." Her eyes welled up. "You don't understand. Trevor's been through so much. His stepmom accused him of stealing. His dad took her side. Still not my problem." "You're heartless," she spat. "No," I said slowly. "I just have boundaries." Her lower lip trembled. "Your family probably hates me now." I sighed. "Yeah, they do. My mom called you that tacky girl who brought her ex to Thanksgiving. My dad said you have no class. Megan thinks you're either cheating or stupid." Her eyes overflowed. "How could you do this to me?" "Ashley," I said, steady, "you did this to yourself. You made a unilateral decision about my family's holiday. You told me to deal with it like I was some doormat. So I dealt with it, by removing myself entirely from a situation you created without my consent." Her voice softened again. "We're supposed to be a team. Teams make decisions together. You made this decision alone." She switched gears, trying to sound gentle. "Look, I'm sorry, okay? I should have asked. But what you did was worse. You humiliated me in front of your entire family." "No," I said, grabbing my keys. "You humiliated yourself. I just wasn't there to watch it happen." After Monday's confrontation, Ashley didn't just take the L. She went full scorched earth. The first strike was aimed straight at my mom. Mom called me later, still a little stunned. "Tom," she said, "your girlfriend called me today." Ashley had apparently dialed her up all sweet and apologetic. "Tom's mom, this is Ashley. I just wanted to apologize for Thanksgiving and explain. Tom and I had a little miscommunication. He was supposed to tell you about Trevor coming, but he must have forgotten because of work stress. You know how men are with details." "Yeah." She actually said that. "But my mom doesn't play." "Ashley," Mom said calmly, "Tom told me on Monday that he wasn't coming. You showed up Thursday claiming he knew you were coming. There was no miscommunication. You lied." Ashley tried to backpedal, something along the lines of, "I didn't mean," but Mom didn't let her wriggle out. "And bringing your ex-boyfriend to a family holiday without clearing it with anyone? That's incredibly disrespectful. Trevor had nowhere else to go? That's not our problem, dear. And frankly, after meeting him, I can see why his family wants nothing to do with him." Ashley hung up on my mother. Round 1, Mom. Then came the social media offensive. She posted this little masterpiece on Facebook. "When you try to be a compassionate person and help someone in need, but your boyfriend is too insecure to handle it. Spent Thanksgiving getting interrogated by his family while he was nowhere to be found. Some people's true colors really show during the holidays. And of course, her friends swarmed in like bees to honey. Men are so fragile. You deserve better, hun. He sounds controlling. Red flag. But she made one fatal mistake, underestimating my sister Megan. Megan saw the post and didn't hold back. She commented, "Compassionate? You brought your ex to someone else's family dinner without permission." Tom wasn't insecure. He was smart. Hashtag Team Tom. Ashley deleted the comment within minutes, but it was already screenshot and lighting up our family group chat like wildfire. Round 2, Megan. Then, because apparently this needed a third act, Trevor decided to get involved. I opened my DMs and there it was. "Bro, what you did was messed up. Ashley was just trying to help me out and you made it weird. Grow up." "Oh, buddy." I typed back. "The unemployed guy who mooched 3 plates of food from my family is telling me to grow up? You spent Thanksgiving eating food bought by strangers because even your own family won't deal with you. Maybe focus on getting your life together instead of texting your ex-girlfriend's boyfriend." He blocked me 5 minutes later. Round 3, me. By Wednesday, Ashley switched tactics. She showed up at my workplace during lunch, holding a bag from my favorite sandwich shop like this was some rom-com. "Can we please just talk?" "I brought lunch," she said, giving me those big, glassy eyes. "Ashley, you need to leave," I said. 5 minutes. "Please." Security was already side-eyeing us, so I gave her 5 minutes. We sat on a bench outside. She started unpacking sandwiches like everything was normal. "I've been thinking," she said softly. "We both made mistakes. I should have asked about Trevor. You should have communicated better. We can move past this." "No," I said firmly. "No, Ashley. You don't get it. This isn't about Trevor. It's about you thinking you can make unilateral decisions about my life and my family. It's about you telling me to deal with it like my opinion doesn't matter." "I didn't mean it like that." "How did you mean it then?" I asked. Trevor was so sad. His family situation is horrible. I wanted to help by volunteering our Thanksgiving. I thought you'd understand. You're usually so easygoing." And there it was. The truth. She thought I was a pushover. "Easygoing doesn't mean doormat, Ashley." "I know that," she said, but I could tell she didn't. "Do you? Because you've been making decisions for both of us for months. Where we eat. Who we see. What we do. And I've let it slide because I wanted to make you happy. But volunteering my family's holiday for your ex." I shook my head. "That's where I draw the line." She blinked rapidly, tears spilling down. "So, you're breaking up with me over this?" "I'm breaking up with you because you don't respect me. The Thanksgiving stunt just made it crystal clear." She whispered, "But I love you." I took a breath. "No. You love having me around. That's different." And just like that, I walked back inside, leaving the sandwich on the bench. After that breakup conversation on the bench, things didn't just get messy. They went off the rails. And by weird, I mean psycho-level weird. Thursday night. I was halfway through a Netflix binge when my phone lit up with Brittany's name, Ashley's best friend. I answered out of morbid curiosity. "You need to take Ashley back," she said. "No hello, no warm-up." "No, I really don't," I replied. "She's a mess, Tom. She hasn't eaten in days." I actually laughed. "Brittany, I saw her eat a sandwich yesterday. Nice try." "She's heartbroken." Brittany snapped. "She was just trying to help a friend in need, and you're punishing her for it. God, why are men so insecure?" I rubbed my temples. "If your boyfriend brought his ex-girlfriend to your family's Thanksgiving dinner without asking, would you be cool with it?" "That's different." "How?" She went silent. Then hung up. Round 4, me. Friday morning. I woke up to my phone blowing up. Ashley had gone full drama queen mode on Instagram. She tagged me in about 20 old photos, vacation pics, date nights, even our first anniversary, captioning them with gems like, "Remember when we were happy? Before your ego ruined everything, broken heart. Guess your family means more than our love." I untagged myself from every single one and blocked her. But oh no, she wasn't done. That afternoon, I got pulled into HR. "Tom," the HR rep said gently, "we received a concerning call about your well-being." My stomach dropped. Ashley. Apparently, she had called my company's HR and told them she was deeply concerned about my mental health because I disappeared for 5 days without telling anyone and was acting erratically. I took a deep breath, opened my laptop, and calmly showed them my pre-approved PTO request for Thanksgiving week. The text where Ashley told me Trevor was coming in to deal with it. Screenshots of her little Instagram breakdown. The HR lady leaned back, pinched the bridge of her nose, and sighed. "So this is a bad breakup." "Very bad," I said. She nodded. "We'll make a note. If she calls again, it'll be treated as harassment." Round 5, HR. But Ashley apparently took that as a challenge. Saturday afternoon, my mom called me with that tight, clipped voice she only uses when she's furious. "That girl is at my door," she said. "With that boy." I nearly dropped my coffee. "Ashley and Trevor?" "Yes. Don't you dare let them in." Wasn't planning on it. She put me on speaker so I could hear the circus for myself. "Mrs. T," Ashley started, voice shaky but practiced. "I wanted to apologize in person and explain everything." Mom's voice was calm, ice cold. "There's nothing to explain. Please leave. We just want to make things right," Ashley pleaded. "Get off my porch before I call the cops," Mom replied. No hesitation. "This is all a misunderstanding," Ashley tried again. "Tom overreacted. And Tom reacted appropriately to you disrespecting him and our family," Mom shot back. "You brought your ex-boyfriend to our Thanksgiving. What kind of person does that?" Ashley's voice cracked. A compassionate person. And that's when Dad came outside. If Mom was cold, Dad was a hammer. You want to know what I think, he said. I think you're still hung up on this loser and you used our holiday to test the waters. Tom saw right through it. Trevor finally spoke up. Hey, I'm not a loser. Dad didn't miss a beat. Son, you're 28, unemployed, homeless, and following your ex-girlfriend to her current boyfriend's family events. You are, by definition, a loser. Ashley started crying on the porch. You don't understand. Tom and I were meant to be together. Mom's voice softened, but only a little. Were you meant to be together when you brought Trevor? Because sweetheart, that's not how relationships work. That was the end of it. Dad actually called the police. The cops showed up, not to arrest anyone, but they made it clear, if Ashley or Trevor set foot on my parents' property again, it would be treated as trespassing. I hung up with my parents and just sat there, staring at my phone. Thanksgiving week started with a text about an ex and ended with the cops being called. And honestly, I had zero regrets. It's been 3 weeks since the great Thanksgiving debacle. And honestly, watching everything shake out has been pure, poetic chaos. Ashley sent me one last message, an email so long it could have qualified as a dissertation. She wrote about how I ruined her reputation, how I turned everyone against her, and how I chose my family over our love. As if those were bad things. But my favorite part? She demanded reimbursement. $60 for the pies she brought to my family's dinner. $20 for gas to drive to my parents' house. And an unspecified amount for emotional distress. I stared at the email for a solid minute, then sent her a Venmo request for $90, the commission I lost by taking PTO for my Cancun trip. She blocked me on Venmo. But she didn't stop there. Ashley tried to rally the troops. She invited our mutual friends to a dinner where she laid out her version of the story. From what I heard, it went about as well as a wet match in a hurricane. Our friend Janet, who's as blunt as they come, looked her dead in the eye and asked, "Wait, so, you brought Trevor without asking Tom first?" Ashley launched into her compassion monologue. Janet cut her off. "Girl, that's insane. I'd have dumped you, too." Half the friend group ended up siding with me. The other half just stayed out of it. Only Brittany stuck by Ashley, and even she admitted privately that bringing Trevor to Thanksgiving maybe wasn't the best move. As for Trevor, this guy posted some pseudo-deep Instagram story about knowing your worth and not letting others dim your light. Buddy, you crashed someone else's Thanksgiving dinner. What light? Then came the plot twist nobody was surprised by. Ashley started dating Trevor again 2 weeks after we broke up. Or maybe they never really stopped. Brittany let it slip that Trevor's been living with her in that tiny studio apartment she always complained was too small for one person. I guess love makes you downgrade your square footage. Meanwhile, my family turned the entire situation into legendary family lore. My cousin tweeted the story and got 50k likes. Mom framed a still from the security footage of Dad calling Trevor a loser. Megan changed her Wi-Fi password to Trevor not invited. This Christmas, my parents texted me. Just family this year, right? Mom added, but if you want to bring someone appropriate, that's fine too. I smiled at that. Because I am good. Better than good, actually. Cancun cleared my head. Made me realize I'd been bending over backward to keep the peace in a relationship where peace wasn't even on the table. Ashley's Thanksgiving stunt wasn't the real end, it was the flashing neon sign that said this is who she is. I started seeing someone new after New Year's. Her name's Diana. Met her at the gym. When I told her the Thanksgiving story, she laughed so hard she almost fell off the treadmill. Wait, she said, wiping tears from her eyes. She actually brought him to your family's dinner without asking? That's sociopathic. When I asked what she'd have done, she said, same as you. Except I'd have gone to Europe. Cancun's too close. Yeah. I think I'll keep this one. Oh, and the cherry on top? I got a LinkedIn notification last week. Trevor viewed my profile. Then an hour later, Ashley viewed it too. I updated my job title to Senior Systems Analyst. Felt like the right kind of subtle flex. Looking back now, it's almost funny how everything unfolded. Ashley thought her wants would always outweigh my boundaries. She thought I'd just roll over and accept it because I usually tried to keep things smooth. But the second she said, deal with it, she told me everything I needed to know about how she saw me. And I did deal with it. Just not the way she expected. Trevor had nowhere to go for Thanksgiving? Well, now they can spend every Thanksgiving together in her cramped studio apartment, ordering takeout, because Trevor can't cook and Ashley once burned water. That's what I call a happy ending. P.S. My mom still calls her that tacky girl with the ex-boyfriend. Dad refers to Trevor as leftover boy because he took home 3 containers of food. Megan suggested we make it a tradition to toast to my boundaries at Thanksgiving. We actually did it this year. Even my 80-year-old grandma raised her glass and said, "That girl had some balls, but our Tom had bigger ones." I love my family.